Hello viewers, welcome to CEC lectures. Myself Dr. Preeti Jagwani. I am from Department of Computer Science, Aryabhat College, University of Delhi. So as you all are aware that we have started with our lecture series, that is Introduction to Programming in C++, and within that series today's topic is operator precedence and associativity. So first of all, along with the agenda, let me introduce what actually operator is, what do I mean by precedence and associativity, and then we will discuss the topic in depth. So coming to the definition of operators, or what actually operators are, you can say these are a special type of functions that are going to take one or more arguments, or let me simplify it, that is going to take one or more values and it is going to produce a new value. So for example, we have some very simple examples of operators. For example, addition. So I am saying, let's say 5 plus 7, that is the addition with two constants, or if I am saying a plus b, so that is addition with two variables. So here addition is actually an operator which is called a special type of function that is operating upon its two operands, which are 5 and 7, or which are a and b. So a and b, or 5, 7 are operands, and plus is the operator. So these operators we are going to discuss in today's lecture. That means what are the top operators which C++ supports, and what are different I can say functions which can be achieved, what are the different tasks which can be achieved with these functions. So in our daily simple mathematics, we use many operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and these operations are used to perform different these operators are used to perform various operations on either variables or constants, or both, we can say. But let's be very specific about what are we going to cover in today's lecture. We are going to cover operators which are okay with, or which are valid for the fundamental types. Now fundamental types means I am talking about arithmetic types, I am talking about enumerations, and I am talking about void type. So enumerations we have covered for greater detail in our previous lectures. Arithmetic types, as far as is concerned, you have integer or floating points. All these data types comes under arithmetic, and then I'll be coming to the void data type in a short while also. So all these arithmetic, enumeration and void data types comes under the category of fundamental types. So whatever operators we are going to discuss today are valid for these fundamental types. So fundamental types, basically I can say these are the data types which are specified by the C++ language standard itself. They are built into the compiler, and there is no they are not defined in any header file, so no extra header file is required for these basic or built-in types, or we can say fundamental types. And these are integer and floating points, then enumeration and void. So integral types, whole numbers, floating point types we have covered already in detail, that may have fractional parts. Then void is empty set of values, that means it is having no data type, no variable of the type void can be specified. So that is another data type which is actually we can say no data type, that is void. So integral types, whole numbers, floating point types, they may have real values or fractional parts. Then we have void, which is nothing but empty set of values, and then enumerations along with it. What about the lecture was titled as operator precedence and associativity. So operator, we have understood what actually an operator is. Coming to the term precedence. So precedence is which operator is given priority as compared to what all other operators when they are used in a expression. That is what you call the precedence thing. Coming to the Associativity. So associativity is basically a basic fundamental which is used when two operators of same precedence appear in an expression. For example, let me try to make you recall the basic mathematics of class 7th, 8th. You remember that Baudemus rule? That was a rule in mathematics to solve the expressions. For example, I am having a plus b minus c multiplied by d. So whichever is going to take place first, obviously multiplication, because multiplication is having a higher precedence as compared to plus and minus. Now coming to a plus b multiplied a plus b minus c. In plus, within among plus and minus, which is the one we are going to take first. So now this plus and minus, two operators are there, but they have same precedence, and the associativity says associativity is from left to right. So that means they will be evaluated starting from the left operator in the left series, and then we will go to the right value. So that is what you called operator associativity. It is used when two operators of the same precedence appear in an expression, as I have given you the example of plus and minus. Now this associativity can be either left to right or right to left. For example, our multiplication and division have the same precedence, plus and minus have the same precedence, and the associativity is from the left to right. So what is happening as a result of associativity being defined from left to right is, let's say I am having an expression 100 divided by 10 multiplied by 10. So associativity is from left to right and the precedence is same. So we will be calculating 100 divided by 10 first, and the result will be multiplied by 10. So the expression will be treated starting from left. We will be encountering, or we will try to enclose the first expression, first meaningful expression into the parenthesis, which is 100 divided by 10, and the result will be multiplied by 10 because it is left to right. If it would have been right to left, then we would have enclosed 10 multiplied by 10 into the parenthesis, and the result we would have divided 100 by the result of 10 multiplied by 10. That means the parenthesis would have been shifted, but the associativity is left to right. So this is what the detailed meaning of associativity is. But be careful that associativity is only used when there are two or more operators of the same precedence. If the precedence of the operators is different, they have priority over one another, there is no meaning of associativity, because precedence is somewhat something which is going to take prior place as compared to associativity as a prior concern. And all operators with the same precedence have same associativity. This is one thing which we need to be very careful. If they are having the same, if let's say there are 3 or 4 operators having same precedence, that means they will be having same associativity too. But here are some cases which we need to see, that precedence and associativity of postfix operator, which is plus plus, and prefix operator plus plus are different. I will be covering this in a short while. Also, the operator comma has the least precedence among all the operators. These are the important things which we need to be careful when dealing with precedence and associativity. Let me summarize once again. Associativity is used only when there are 2 or more operators of same precedence. All operators with the same precedence will be having same associativity, but the increment operator plus plus, when used as postfix operators and when used as prefix operator, will be having different precedence and different associativity too. Don't worry about this point, I will be covering this in a short while. And one operator comma is having the least precedence among all the operators. What actually this comma operator is and what actually all other operators which I am naming like postfix and prefix, I will be covering in a short while. Now coming to the categories of operators which are, I can say which are valid operators, which are considered as valid operators for fundamental types are, these categories are arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, logical operators, and bitwise operators. And if you can see in a diagram, we have assignment operator, bitwise shift operator. You can consider this shift operator as a subcategory of bitwise operators too. Then we have unary and ternary operator. So unary and ternary operator basically are, I can say, some operators which are differentiated on the basis of number of operands. I will be covering them in detail. Then we have a comma operator. Relational operators are there, then logical operators and mathematical operators. Now let us try to explore all these operators or all these categories one by one. So coming to the first operator, which is known as assignment operator. Now within the first program, you all are familiar with this assignment operator. It is marked as is equals to, and it is used for assignment. So what actually does, for example, I am writing a is equals to 10. So that means I am assigning a value 10 into a. So basically it takes the right hand side called r value, and it is going to copy it into the L value, which is left hand side. So 10 is taken and it is being copied onto that variable location, which is a. So for example, another idea could be, if I am saying a is equals to, let's say, 5 plus 7. So that 5 plus 7, which is the right hand side expression, is evaluated first, and then this is assigned to the variable a. So this is what you called assignment operator. It is pretty simple, and we generally use it in kind of normal mathematics too. So not a big deal here. Coming to another simple category of operators, which is mathematical operators. So mathematical operators, as the name suggests, these are used to perform basic mathematical operations, plus, minus, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and one which is modulo division, or more commonly known as modulus. Modulus operator we have to be careful with, because it cannot be used with real values, it cannot be used with floating point numbers. So plus, minus, multiplication, division is all clear, but coming to the modulus, what actually this modulus gives? It gives remainder. For example, 7 mod 3. So 7 mod 3 is going to give you the remainder when 7 is divided by 3, and the remainder here is 1. So that is what the function of modulus operator, but again please remember that modulus operator cannot be used with floating point numbers, it is just for the integer values. Now coming to one more notation, one notation of one specific, or we can say one special notation of writing the operators and operands, or writing the expressions, that is known as shorthand notation. So for example, if I am saying integer x is equals to 10, that is fine, that is just assignment operator. And whenever I am saying x plus equals to 4, so this x plus equals to 4 actually means x is equals to x plus 4. Now coming to the right hand side value, which is x plus 4. So the value of x, existing value of x is 10, and this 10 will be added to 4, and the final result is 14. That will be the new value of x. So instead of writing x is equals to x plus 4, we can write x plus is equals to 4, and this notation is known as shorthand notation. Similarly, in place of writing x is equals to x minus 5, we can write x minus equals to 5. This is also a shorthand notation. So here we are combining two operators, one is either plus or minus, and another one is the assignment operator. Now coming to the next category of the operators is relational operators. So as the name indicates, relational operators, it establishes a relationship between operands. What kind of relationship I am talking about? It is going to compare the operands. For example, whether the which operand is less than, which operand is greater than the another, less than equals to, greater than equals to, or equivalent or not equivalent. So while checking the equivalency, we use double equals to. We will not use single equals to, because single equals to essentially means assignment operator. It is not the checking, it is not used for checking the equivalence. And if we want to check the non equivalence, we will use the operator as exclamation sign and is equals to. So here you can see how these operators are being used. 5 greater than equals to 6. So the result of these kinds of operators or a relational operator will always be a kind of, you can say, binary value, or it's a value in true or false. So 5 greater than equals to 6, whether true or false, here it is false. Then 1.7 less than 1.8, or maybe 1.7 greater than 1.8, whatever. Now here the third one, please see, this is 4 plus 2 equals to 5. This is just comparing that 4 plus 2, which is 6, is equals to 5. That means whether the left value is equals to the right value, yes or no. Or here we can have one variable also. For example, if I want to check whether x is equals to 10, yes or no, so then I'll be using x equals to 10. I'll not use x equals to 10, because that equals to means assignment operator. For equivalence, we need to check x equals to 10, or here for not equivalence, we need to check. For example, I have taken 2 multiplied by 4 not equals to 7. So 2 multiplied by 4 is 8, not equals to 7. So the answer will be true. So all these operators, which are relational operators, are basically used for testing conditions of we can say decision making statements, for example if, which we will be covering in our future lectures, or for the decision making statements in case of loops also. So we will be using these with either if statements or with the looping statements generally. Now coming to that concept, assignment versus equality check. So if I am saying x equals to 10, that is assignment. Again, x is equals to 5, yes, it's an assignment. But if I want to check for an equality, so I'll say x equals to 5. So if x equals to 5 is actually a condition that is going to give me, and this condition is using the equivalence check operator, and this will be answering me in either yes or no. If the value of x is equals to 5, the answer will be yes. If the value of x is not equals to 5, the answer will be simple no or false. I mean yes or no, or true or false, we can say. So this kind of binary answer we must expect when we are using the equality check operators. The next category of operators is basically, I can say, logical operators. So logical operators, the application says these are used to combine two different expressions together, and when these two expressions together are combined, for the combination we will be using logical operators, which are and or, and we will be having not with these also. So and is written as double ampersand sign, and or is written as double pipe sign in C++. So wherever this and is coming, when validity of both the statements, for example I am writing in statement S1 and I am writing in statement S2. So S1 and S2, when both are valid, when both are true, then the result will be true. Validity of both statements will be considered, and the if both these statements, which is S1 and S2, are valid, then only we can say that S1 and S2 is also valid. And or, as the name indicates, either one of them must be valid. And this is also, I mean, these logical operators are also used in loops mostly. mostly used in loops and in decision making statements too. So coming to how these logical expressions will be used, let's see. For example, I am having some values of x and y, and corresponding to those values of x and y, a logical expression is written, and the corresponding result after evaluation of that logical expression is highlighted. So value of x is 1 and y is -1. So the first statement is x less than equals to y, pipe symbol, that means double pipe symbol here is, or y greater than equals to 0. So there are two statements, one is x less than equals to y and another statement is y greater than equals to 0. Now let us check the validity of both these statements. So taking value of x and y as 1 and -1 correspondingly, so I can say 1 less than equals to -1, it's a false statement, and y greater than equals to 0, that's also a false statement. That means none of the statements of this OR expression is valid, so the result is false. So even if any one of the statement is valid or any one of the statement is answering in true, the result will be true in case of OR. And for the result to be true in case of AND, both the statements should result individually, should result in true, or we can say both the statements should be valid. So for example, x and y taking values as 0 for both of them, if I am going to say x is greater than -2, that means 0 is greater than -2, yes, it is there, and y equals to 0, that means we are checking whether y is equals to 0, yes or no. So yes, y is equals to 0 and x is also greater than -2, that means both these statements are valid. So that's why, and these both statements are passed for evaluation using an AND operator and logical operator. So the result is going to be true. Coming to the next one, which is x and not of y. Now x is -1 and not of y is 1. So none of these expression, neither x nor not of y, are 0, that means both are valid statements. Any statement which is having the value 0 is considered as not valid statement or false statement, but here both the statements are having their own value. X is having -1 and negation of y is having negation of y is having 1, so that means both are true. So given with AND, these are true. So in this way you can use logical expressions by using the logical operators and or with different mini expressions on their sides as operands. And here are some references which I have used for this lecture. Hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you for patient hearing.